Good morning, all of you. Yesterday, we have discussed the physical vapor deposition, that is PVD, and chemical vapor deposition technique, okay, that is CVD technique, okay, in the coating technology. Now, today we are going to discuss the another coating technique, that is a metallic coating, okay, and then after that we'll go for the last one, that is a metal spraying or a thermal spraying deposition technique. Okay. So today I will go for the metallic coating. In that metallic coating, the anoding, okay, other that parts is there, galvanizing or the, okay. I think that you know about that because I think in a metallized subject or manufacturing process that some part is covered. Okay. So I will start with the first part of the metallic coating.
Surface of an object, and normally it is called substrate. The purpose of application of coating is the value enhancement of the substrate and anodic. In part 1 to series of online lectures I have divided this topic into two parts. In part 1 we are going to cover following points. First, introduction to metallic coatings, then cathodic and anodic coatings, followed by methods of applying metallic coatings. In that, electroplating and its different types, then electroforming, and at last we are going to see hot dipping. Okay, so let us begin with the introduction. As we know that coating is a covering that can be applied to the surface or substrate. Purpose application of coating is the value enhancement of the substrate by improving its appearance, corrosion resistance property, wear resistance property. Okay, and the process of coating involves application of thin film of a functional material onto the substrate, and the functional material may be metallic or non-metallic, organic or inorganic. It may be solid, liquid, or gas, and this can be genuine criteria of the classification of coating. So there are the types of the coating, and today we are going to discuss the metallic coating. So metallic coating can be applied over a metallic as well as non-metallic substrate. Sometimes non-metallic like plastic are coated by this metallic coating, okay, to give metallic appearance also. And protecting the metal by metal coating is a old method and very widely used practice, as these are more durable, more and provide better protection against the corrosion. There are two factors are involved in this protection of the metal, okay, by metallic coating. The first is that it mechanically isolates the metal from corrosion environment, and the second is the galvanic relation of the coated metal and the base metal. Okay, and based on these factors, metallic coatings are classified into the two categories. First is the cathodic coat. Okay, so first we will discuss about this. So cathodic coating, in such a case, the coating metal is a cathodic with respect to the base metal. coating of tin, nickel, and chromium are cathodic coatings, as these are higher than the steel in the galvanic series for the most service condition also. And these coatings provide a physical barrier between the metal and the environment. Okay, so when coating is dense, non-porous, continuous, and without discontinuities, corrosion medium does not come in contact between the base metal, and the base metal does not corrode, and the coating being cathodic does not corrode. Okay, corrosion of the underlying metal occurs at a small discontinuities, crack, etc. as it is a anodic, and as the anodic area is small, pitting corrosion occurs, and this disadvantage is outweighed for some application where corrosion is not a severe problem. Okay, and lots of automobile parts have cathodic coating like chromium plating, silver and gold plating is also done on the brasses and bronze for the ornamental purpose. Okay, so let us discuss about the anode coating. The coating metal is anodic to the underlying the metal, and the anodic coatings provide galvanic protection to the base metal. In addition to this, it will act as a physical barrier between the base metal and the environment. And when the coating is dense, non-porous, continuous, and adhering, it separates as a physical barrier between the environment and it from the base metal. Okay, so at flaws, cracks, discontinuities, and the pins, the base metal is protected by the galvanic action of the coating. Okay, sacrifice type of zinc and cadmium are example of provide protection to the for cadmium coatings such as fire, spray, or alkalines may justify their high cost. And the life of the coating it depends on the nature environment as it governs the nature of the corrosion. Okay, and the life of the coating primarily it depends on the thickness of the coating. Okay, so some galvanized corrugated steel sheets are containers also. Okay, this is about the anodic coating. Now let us move for the which has a different methods of applying the metallic coating. So begin with the electroplating. We'll start. So electroplating. So of electrochemical bleeding, and it is a electrolyte process. Okay, in this process metal ions in a electrolyte solution are deposited on the cathode. Okay, so with the help of this diagram I will explain okay how this electroplating works. So in this process electrolytic solution is there, and anode is generally made up of the metal being plated, so it serves as a source of the coating metal and working workpiece where coating is to be applied, made as a cathode. Okay, so look at this diagram. You will get the which is anode and which is a cathode. Okay, then direct current from an external power source is passed through the electrolytic solution. Okay, so look at here. I have given the diagram. I have given the DC power source. So using this DC power, you can pass this current through the electrolytic solution. And the electrolytic is an aqueous solution of acid, it may be bases or the salt. And electrolytic conducts the electric current by the movement of plate metal in the solution. And for optimum result, the part to be plated should be chemically clean. Okay, this is a requirement. And the coat should be thicker or thinner. It may be dull or bright, soft or hard, or it may be dark or depends on temperature, density, time, and composition of the bath. Okay, so hard plating resist erosion, corrosion. Okay, that is better, and it gives the thin and uniform coat. Has become popular this technique. Cadmium and corrosive nickel and chromium plating are the most electroplated product which are normally produced by this electroplating. Okay, now this electroplating may have plating of the different metal, plating of some of the important metal. Now I am going to describe. Now first is the zinc plating. So zinc plating steel products are fastener, wire goods, electrical switch boxes, and sheet metal parts. Okay, so here in this figure, you can see at the slide, I have shown some component which are made of the zinc plating, and zinc coating provide high resistance to the corrosion. Okay, this is important. Zinc can also be plated on the large area wiring galvanizing process. Okay, let us discuss about the nickel plating. Normally, nickel plating is done for the corrosion resistant purpose and decorative purpose. In these cases, brass, steel, zinc die casting serves as a substrate metal. Are all plated with the nickel. Okay, so the procedure or the process of nickel plating in this diagram you can see here. The cathode, it is I have shown as a nail. Nail will act as a cathode, and nickel sulfide solution that will act as the electrolyte, and anode, that means the nickel. Okay, so that will the nickel plating. Okay, let us discuss the new point. So gold plating is a method of depositing thin layer of the gold on the substrate of a other metal. Okay, so most often substrate is a silver or the copper. It provides corrosion resistant and highly electrical conductive layer, which is used in the electrical connectors and the printed circuit boards. And the major problem in the gold plating on copper is the copper atoms have tendency to diffuse through the gold layer, which and formation the oxide on the okay, over there. To avoid this layer of the some barrel metal like nickel is applied over the gold plating on the substrate of the copper, as nickel atoms do not diffuse to the gold. Okay, so some metal may also be gold plated to improve their aesthetic value for ornamental purpose. So here you can see here I have shown the some products of the gold plated. Okay, these are the gold plated products. Let us discuss about the chrome plating. So chrome plating is a finishing treatment given to the metal surface using the electrolytic deposition of the chromium. Okay, chromium, it is also called the chromium plating, and the decorative bright chrome plating of a thickness 10 micron or a nickel plating is done on the steels. Okay, so this point should be noted, and it is used in case of the metal furniture, automotive streams, etc. Then this chromium plating is a hard plating provided wear resistance properly to the surface. Okay, so again here I have shown the say some products of the chromium plating. Okay, so let us discuss about the tin plating. So tin plating is used for ferrous and non-ferrous metallic surfaces. Tin is a material, so it is widely used in the food packaging industry. Sheet metal with a tin can be processed further without any damage to their surface. This is possible due to the excellent ductility of the tin and its alloy. Electroplating of the tin is also used in the electronic industry because it's the ability to protect the base metal from the oxidation. It is used to protect solubility. Okay, so let's discuss the last electroplating process, that is alloy plating. In some cases, electroplating of two metals is done simultaneously, and it is called alloy plating. You can take example of nickel cobalt, and that is a commonly electroplated alloy. Okay, so here I have shown that example of the alloy plating in this figure. This is about the electroplating. Now let us discuss the second method of metal coating, that is a electroforming. So in this method, electrolytic deposition of metal onto a pattern. It will carried out until the required thickness is achieved, and the pattern is then removed to the leave the formed part. Okay, and the part produced, it is called the electroformed part, and its thickness may be up to 0.05 mm. Okay, so electroformed parts are commonly fabricated of copper, nickel, and nickel cobalt alloy. Application of this electroform include and molds and dies, molds for lenses, plates for embossing and printing. Okay, so the schematic figure of the electroforming process I have shown here. So you can see here in this diagram, the mandrel will be deposited, coated by the copper metal. Okay, now let us discuss the electroless plating. As name indicates, it is a plating process done entirely by the chemical reaction. No external source of the electric current is required in this case, and the deposition of the metal onto the part surface occurs in a aqueous solution which contains the ions of the desired plating metal. And the process, you just say reducing agent, and the work part surface acts catalyst for the reaction. And normally nickel and nickel alloys are used for this plating. This process is costlier as compared to other similar methods. Nickel plating by this method is used to get high resistance to the corrosion and wear. Okay, and the electrolysis of plating is used to plate through holes of the printed circuit boards. Okay, so here I have shown the example of electroplating of the nickel. You can see here in this diagram. Now, electroplating has the following advantages. So I will discuss these advantages. First one is the uniform plating, even on complex part geometry. So this is the problem in case of the electroplating, and this process can be used for both metallic as well as non-metallic substrate. For this process, no current is required. Okay, so no DC power source is required. This is about the electroless plating. Let us discuss about the hot dipping. Hot dipping is a process in which a metal is immersed in a molten bath of the another metal that has to be coated onto the first. For this process, melting point of first metal, that is substrate, should be higher than the melting point to be plated. Okay, and the common substrate metal for hot dipping are steel and iron, and common coating materials are zinc, aluminum, tin, and lead. The working principle of this hot dipping is forming transition layer of the various alloy next to the are metallic coating. Okay, so in part 2 we are going to cover remaining methods of metallic coating, that are metal spraying, vapor deposition, galvanizing, and it's a different methods, then anodizing and diffusion coating, and at last cladding. So let us begin with the first method, that is the metal spraying. It is also known as spray metallizing, and this technique involves the impregnation of base material with a metal or metal compound by spraying the coated metal or compound to the surface of the base metal, and the metal used for the deposition may be either in the form of wire or powder. Before coating, the surface of the substrate metal is first cleaned perfectly to ensure that adhesion of the sprayed metal and the deposition of the even it is uniform or uniform layer. Okay, and when coating material is used in the powder form, then it is known as powder metallizing or powder spraying, and when it is in the wire form, then the process is called wire metallizing or wire spraying. In both the cases, coating metal is atomized before the spraying, and it undergoes under a pressure on the metal substrate. So first we'll discuss about the wire spraying. In this process, special type of sprayed gun is used, and the spray gun consists of a gas torch, and the gas torch is connected to the oxygen and acetylene cylinder in the same way as in case of oxyacetylene welding, and the torch drawn mixture of two gases through high pressure in the cylinder, and it develops on the oxyacetylene flame, and the metal to be sprayed is fed into the gun in the form of fire, and the flame, you can see here, the flame at the end of torch melt the fed metal and it is atomized. Then the gun is also equipped with another gases out compressor. It is done out from the compressor which carries the atomized metal far on the substrate metal with a very high velocity. The velocity with high velocity bombardment of the particles is done by the maintain the certain distance from the substrate metal, and so these particles spread over the substrate metal surface. You can see here in this diagram I have shown the wire spraying, how the particle is going to over the substrate, and the sprayed molten metal cools down and freeze to the form a diffused leaf. Okay, so you can see this figure also. The real thickness of the metal can be maintained by laying down discuss about the powder spraying. It is also known as a powder metallizing process. In this case, coating material used in the powder form, and the coating material is filled in a hopper from where it is fed to the spray gun by suitable means, and the gas flame is used as usual to melt the powder. Compressed air is then used to atomize and spray the molten metal onto the surface of the workpiece in the same way as described in case of the wire spray. Okay, you can see here I have shown, and there is one more important technique of the kit in and tungsten electrode as a cathode, and a high intensity arc is struck between the anode and cathode. The established arc is shielded with the help of inert gas, and the hot gas comes out from the nozzle of the body at very high velocity in the form of very bright and shining flame, that is plasma, which carries a high velocity, high heat intensity. The powder of the coating metal is sprayed in the stream of plasma, which melt it readily and atomizes. The atomized metal is carried to the surface at a high velocity of this stream, and it will deposited there. Wire gun, normally the wire gun process is generally preferred due to the easy availability of coating material in wire form and the low cost of its operation. Metal by spray is denser and faster. Plasma coating is preferred in case of the coating of carbides of metals, titanium, chromium, oxide of zirconium, titanium, etc. Okay, so this is about the powder spray. Let us discuss about the to the easy availability of the coating material in wire form and the low cost of its operation. But powder metal by spray is denser and faster. Plasma coating is preferred in case of the coating of the carbides of metals, titanium, chromium, oxide of zirconium, titanium, etc. Okay, so this is about the powder spray. Let us discuss about the vapor deposition, or it is known as a vacuum metallizing. It is a vacuum deposition process. Any metal can be coated on a base metal through this process, and some non-metal can also be coated on the substrate metal. So you can see here in the diagram I have shown the process about the vacuum deposition. This process is very effective for depositing a thin metal film or film of a metal compound on a substrate base. Normally, coating material used in this method are aluminum, chromium, silver, nickel, gold, platinum, germanium, etc. And the substrate material can be different metals, ceramics, glass, plastic, paper, and cloth. In this process, substrate, that is workpiece, and the coating material are placed in a high vacuum chamber. I have shown in the figure also. The coating material is heated by the electrical mesh, and due to vacuum, hot coating material atoms leave the surface in metal vapor form and condense at the surface of the substrate material. The workpiece is kept slowly rotating during the process so that entire surface is exposed to the advancing coating metal vapor. Okay, so this is process of vapor deposition. There are some advantages of vapor deposition method, which are I have listed over here. The first one is the thin coating of the metal is possible by this, so little quantity is consumed here, and this method is most suitable for coating of very costly metals. Second is the decorative coating on household items are possible through this method. And the third is effective and low cost coating for corrosion and thermal resistance are possible using this process. Also, coating quality is usually assessed by measuring its porosity, oxide content, macro and micro hardness, bond strength, and surface roughness. Generally, in case of metal spring, coating quality increases the particle velocities. Let us discuss the next one, that is high velocity oxygen fuel spring, HVOF. It is one of the way of metal spring. In this case, a mixture of gases or liquid fuel and oxygen is fed into the combustion chamber where they are ignited and burned continuously. The generated hot gas at a pressure approximately 1 megapascal originate through a converging diverging nozzle and travel through a straight section, and the velocity of gases at two exit of the barrel extend the velocity of the sound, and a power feed stroke is injected into the gas stream, which accelerates the powder up to 800 meter per second. The stream of hot gas and the powder is described toward the surface to be coated, and the powder partially melt in the stream and get deposited on the substrate. The resulting coating in this way has a low porosity and high bond strength. Okay, this is main point. HVOF has some application. It is recognized to deposit wear and corrosion resistant coating on the material. Again, commonly coating material like tungsten, cobalt, chromium, carbide, alumina. These are the common coating material. It is used for deposit coatings of required property of inserted tool bits. Let us discuss the important method, that is a galvanizing. Galvanizing is a process of applying a zinc coating to steel or iron components to prevent rusting. Again, our objective is to improve the corrosion resistance, and this galvanizing process consists of the four fundamental steps. First is the, as I have shown in this figure, one is the surface preparation, next one is the pre-fluxing, the next one is the galvanizing, and next one is the finishing. So these four steps one has to follow when he is doing or her is doing galvanizing. Okay, so in this figure I have shown these all four steps here, and the galvanizing is a electrochemical material on the surface of another metal, and this technique is widely used to coat zinc over the iron and the steel. And galvanized sheet metals are available in the market for their commercial use also, and this technique is very popular and widely accepted due to its effectiveness and economy. A number of methods can be employed for galvanizing of zinc to the metal substrate. So accordingly, this we have the different galvanizing methods. So first is the hot dip galvanizing. The first step of this process is cleaning of the workpiece that involves its degreasing by acid rinsing, followed by cooling in oxide-free atmosphere. And during cooling, when temperature of workpiece reaches near to the temperature of molten zinc bar temperature, the workpiece is dipped in the bar. Very thin and uniform coating layer can be maintained by passing the sheet through a roller just after the coating, and this method is not recommended for galvanizing of very delicate and complex shaped parts having complex interior design. So you can consider this a disadvantage of this hot dip galvanizing process. Okay, and here I have shown the hot dip galvanizing process, how one can do the hot dip galvanizing process. Let us discuss the chernizing. So this process is used for the galvanizing of those small parts having the intricate shapes, and in this process there is a box of containing or container having filled with fine zinc powder, and the parts are placed in this box surrounded with the powder. Box is heated in a oxygen zinc powder, and zinc comes in the contact with the surface of workpiece, and the zinc is deposited on the workpiece. So this is process, and the workpiece is then taken out of over, and it is allowed to cool down to room temperature. In this process, let us discuss the electroplating galvanizing. In case of electroplating galvanizing, zinc is deposited onto the workpiece by making it cathode. It is just like electroplating process I have discussed, and this process is time consuming, so it is not recommended for mass production. Thickness of coating layer is very thin, so it is not capable to provide corrosion resistant property to the workpiece. This is disadvantage of this process. Let us discuss the last galvanizing method, that cold dip. This process involves cleaning, buffing, degreasing of the work surface before galvanizing. Cold bath is used in this process. No heat flow of current through electrolyte solution is required. The cold bath is prepared by dissolving shafts like zinc chloride, tin chloride, ammonium chloride, and potassium bitrate and filled the tank used in this process is a metallic tank which carries a thin lining of rubber or PVC sheet on its internal surface, and during the preparation, proportion of the tin chloride should always be less than half of the quantity of the zinc chloride. So this point we should take during the cold dip galvanizing process. Let us discuss the anodizing. So anodizing is a process of deposition of oxide film on a metal surface with the help of anode and oxidation. The process involves cleaning of workpiece either in a hot soak cleaner or in a solvent bath. After cleaning, the workpiece is dipped in a electrolyte and made anode. The electrolyte used should give off oxygen on electrolysis. There is no any deposition from outside. When current passes through the electrolyte, a chemical reaction takes place and oxygen is liberated, which reacts with the metal surface to convert it into an oxide. In this process, a reaction progress inwards into the metal. The coating deposited is the integral part of the metal itself. So deeper the penetration of the chemical reaction, the thicker will be the oxide film formed. And after the formation of oxide layer into the third stage of this process is provide the desired color and stability to the anodizing film. So this is about the anodizing, and the process of anodizing I have shown in this figure. You can see here job work I have considered as anode, and the material to be coated that considered as an anode, and I have used the acidic electrolyte for this process. So some of useful commercial examples I have mentioned here, that is anodizing of the steel is done to make it wear and resistant. Again, galvanized machine anodize to improve their resistance for rusting and corrosion. The main purpose of anodizing I have mentioned, so it provides protective coating on the metal surface which is corrosion resistance and wear resistance. Then again, to protect decorative appearance to the surface, we can anodizing. Aluminum provides very good surface property after the anodizing. Let us discuss the diffusion coating or surface alloying. So the part to be coated are packed in the powdered solid metal or exposed to gases atmospheric containing the metal, and that to be coated. And the high temperature treatment causes the diffusion and may form a alloy. Ceradizing of zinc, chrominizing, calorizing, aluronizing, that is aluminizing, then ferrosilicate are common example of this diffusion coating, and these coatings are relatively thick and are usually applied to the cast or machined parts such as hulls, wall guides, and turbine buckets. Carbon steel, low alloy steels, and stainless steels are the aluminized products, and here protective layer of aluminum oxide formed on iron aluminum alloyed surface. Let us discuss the last process, that is cladding. So it is a joining of two different metal or alloys by forming a strong alloy bond between the plates of the two metals, and the bond may be formed in many ways. For example, by casting one alloy against a solid plate of the other, and this thick composite ingots is then hot worked to reduce it to a useful form such as clad sheet, and the cladding is usually thin than the other material. The production of the corrosion resistance surface is a principal object of this cladding process. And for example, alclad is to provide corrosion barrier to high strength aluminum alloy with a commercially a pure aluminum skin on the both side by rolling, because the alloy is susceptible to trace erosion. Okay, and it is very cheap method for protecting against corrosion, and cladding is also used for such purposes as making bimetal strips for temperature control devices. So some these are the applications of cladding. So here I have covered all the methods of applying metallic coating.
Okay, so this is about the metallic coating. Okay, now only one method is remaining from this chapter, that is thermal spray coating technique, that I will cover in the next lecture. Now I request all of you, please write down your roll number in the chat box so that I can write your attendance. Please write down your roll number in chat box. Okay, thank you.